Let's see if this gets going. So we got Unreal Engine up. One of the assets was only compatible as high as 5.4, so we're in Unreal Engine 5.4. Let's bring up the asset list here. Get that up here, and we'll go over what they are before we get into how we're gonna mess with them and how we review how they are. Let's see, it looks like YouTube is up and running. We're gonna do a quick sound check with that, make sure the sound is coming through. All right. Okay. Okay, looks like we have some good sound, I think. Let me turn that up a little bit. Looks like the volume's a little low. But of course, oh wait, I think the volume on my computer is down a little low. So let's get that. All right, I think we're good enough on sound. And let's check over on Rumble, do a sound check there. And we're listening for some sound to come through, and I'm not sure it's okay. Well, the sound's coming through there as well. Okay, so with Unreal Engine, they FAB does their asset management now. It used to be part of the Epic Game Store, and now they made it a separate store that you have to go to, which is called FAB, which was started I think in December, maybe it was November, don't remember. But anyway, they usually have 3 or 4 assets free every 2 weeks. This one ends on the 14th, and they have a pirate stilt village island as one of the assets, a skeleton guard, and a comic book cutscene. So we're going to check out those 3. So let's go ahead and go into each one here and just take a quick look. Hold on one second. Why is that? Okay. In the live chat. Okay. And looks like I have a poor streaming on YouTube there, but we'll get that lined out. So I might have a little bit of lag on YouTube, so we'll just have to live with that this evening. So okay, so the first one here is the Pirate Stilt Village modular pack, and they built up a little preliminary scene just to showcase what it is. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. The shaders on what I have aren't quite there. There's something I got some settings because the water doesn't quite look right on mine, but we'll take a look at that, see if we can get that fixed. I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So there's what it is. I'm not sure what all that is. Let's go and see if it's got the screenshot with the assets. It doesn't, but there's a level with all the assets in it. And then down here, it'll give your compatibility. This one's up to 5.4. And then the skeleton one, I believe, is 5.4 as well. So I'm not sure. Maybe this is why these assets are free, because they're not testing them up to 5.5. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what gets these on the list. I'm sure they'll probably work on 5.4 since it's just regular assets, but you'd have to port them over. You can't import them into the project directly. And I'll show you what I mean in a second here. All right. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. There's there's a guide there, and maybe we'll take a look at the guide. Is it a video? Yeah, it's a YouTube video. And that's a little loud. And there's no sound coming through on this video. It's just showing you how to get there and how to put it into your level. And it's linked to the wrong video for the assets, so that's okay. Not a big deal. That's pretty much static assets for the most part, so we'll just take a look at that in the project we got set up there. And let's go back into the free ones. We'll go into the skeleton here. Says here key features, low poly, fully rigged to UE4, but they brought it up to 5. Come down here, it's up to 5.4. The eyes are glowing. I think default is red glow, but I guess you can change the glowing color. It's completely modular. You can put on different armor and things like that, and different things there. It's the base of it's a skeleton. You can just put those skins on. But yeah, there's the assets are in there, and we can take a look at those. I loaded those into a project as well. There's a video preview here. Let's go ahead and open that in a new window. Let's see, it's a 1 minute video, so I'll just take a quick look at it with no sound. It's just twirling it around. Let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, it's just the preview animations are kind of messed up a little bit too, but that's okay. Not a big deal, especially those two right there. But it looks like a neat little skeleton. All right, so we'll stop that one there. All right, so it's got different assets with him. So let's go here. The last one is a cutscene. And for some reason, I cannot go there. Let's just back up here. A comic book cutscene, which is it's interesting, but I'm not sure if it'd be useful for me. But somebody might see it useful. The only problem I see with the asset here is it's not a plugin; it's a project, and that's a little problematic because if you want to bring it into a project, you have to port it over. I'm not sure exactly how that will port over from the main project to your project, or you have to bring assets from whatever you're doing the cutscene for into the cutscene project. So, but we'll take a look at that. It's got function libraries, macro libraries. There's a showcase in there. We'll take a look at the showcase as well. It's got animated page layouts, cutscene spawner, shader material, speech bubbles, all that good stuff. Narrative and audio dialogue, so you can put in audio files to narrate what's being said and all that, or what's being done. And you can take your screenshots right there in the mode there. So, but I'm not sure how it would pair if you brought all the assets over into another project. We're not going to do that tonight, but we're just going to take a look at what it is. All right. And this one here is up to 5.5, the latest Unreal release, so that's good. The other two were not. So that's one thing with the free assets. You have to look at it and make sure it's the engine, because it says assets for Unreal and for another engine for Unity and Unreal. And of course, Unreal Fortnite, but Unreal Fortnite takes the same type of assets, but Unity and Unreal Engine's just got to make sure it's compatible and you're not getting a Unity asset. So far, the ones I've seen that were going to be free have been for Unreal Engine and not Unity. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at the assets and you're putting them in your library. All right, so did I? Oh yeah, there was a video for the there's a video here for this. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? I think that might have been the video for it. Yeah, it's the video for it. Skip that. It's not this. There's a follow-up video. And that wasn't it. Where is it? There it is, comic book tutorial. That's what we wanted. 26-minute video here. We're not going to go through this whole video. We're just going to skip through. You can lay out your cards however you want to. It looks like your comic book scenes. You can put your text bubbles there. Looks like I have blueprints for adding into play your audio and all that. Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's got a blueprint to play each frame. And each pop-up bubble and all that. So it looks like you would have to do a sequence from one to the other. Once one ends, it triggers the next and triggers the next and triggers the next. Okay. Looks pretty simple to lay out. But I'll show you what I mean by loading the project in. So we're just going to get out of that. And we're just going to head in and to Unreal Engine and check this out. Actually, let's go to the Epic Store first. And it's not up for some reason. I have to bring up the Epic Store. Why did it close? All right, while we're waiting for that. So you have to create a project for the cutscene, but the content is all encapsulated in one folder. So I imagine you could export that to another project. And you do that by, let's see, where is that? Migrate. So you can migrate and you can migrate this to another project. So I imagine that would work out okay. Then you can use the blueprints and the assets to create a cutscene with your current content. If you're doing cutscenes for a game or whatever you're doing with Unreal Engine, you can do all sorts of things. You can create movies with it. You can create simulations with it. Like if you have a vehicle, you can do a vehicle simulation. All sorts of things. Architectural visualizations. But we're just gonna concentrate on gaming for right now. We're not gonna get into the other stuff unless there's a demand for it. So anyway, you can probably migrate this to another one. It'll probably work fine. I just don't like that it didn't just put it into a plugin and bring it in that way. I understand with the assets and all that, that it was like that, but they could have done a little bit different than loading it with just a project. But let's see. So when you bring it in, it comes into here as default. And then we'll just go ahead and hit play and do the showcase here for now. And we'll wait for the Epic Game Engine game launcher to come up. So it's got this little box here. It's going to launch the the little cutscene. And here
What a
it
beautiful
is.
day.
And I don't have any audio on this, so hold on, let
Wow,
me get
stairs, just what I needed.
the
Meanwhile,
audio in here. Let me
what a
find
bad
my,
idea.
I lost my cursor.
That's it, I'm going home.
All right, cursor is back. And let me get the audio on for this. And for some reason, it's not letting me select Unreal Engine. Oh, no, that's not it. That's everything under the sun here. Okay. Okay, here it is. All right. Well, let's try that again. All right, let's hit play. Come on over and
What a beautiful day.
there we go.
Wow, stairs, just what I needed.
Meanwhile,
What a bad idea.
All right, let's escape out of that. So that's the basic concept for the cutscene. That looks like a comic book. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go into how to create one. This one doesn't interest me as much, but it might interest somebody. If somebody wants a tutorial to go through this step by step and maybe how to push it over to another project and see if it works over that way, let me know in the chat, and make sure to give the video, this live stream, a like. I would appreciate it. And maybe give me a follow. I need some followers. It's a new channel, so give it a shot. We deal with Unreal Engine development, and we try to focus on uh, indie developers. We'll do some gaming streams of some indie games. We'll still talk about the main gaming industry and the AAA games and all that, and we'll still do some live streams of some AAA games. We're not going to do exclusively indies, but we're going to try to focus mostly on indies and indie developers. And when we do a live stream with playing an indie game, we'll try to highlight the developer and what they're about, and their what they're working on. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and change this to the pirate, not pirate. Why did I say pirate? Skeleton. It's a skeleton. So let's click on him here, and we got the third person character. Let's go down to the mesh. There we go. We got to go to the mesh here. Okay. And we will find where it's called out. Okay, here it is. So we'll click on that. We will find the skeleton. It actually looks pretty good. It's interesting. Out of memory, trying to allocate resource. Why are we out of memory? Lowering resolution. Okay, let's where it crashes, we'll go into the settings and lower some of the. Nope, it crashed. Well, that might be because I have other things running along with it. Let's get it back up and going. Let's see. Maybe this one here. All right, so while that's loading, we will come in here to the comic asset. So this is what I didn't like right here. You have to create a project with this. You can't just add it to a project. You have to create a project, and that's the default. And I would prefer that it was just an add to project. That would be the preferred method. Because this way I have to create a project, put it in there, and then I have to migrate that to another project, and then get that working. But it'll probably work, but it's still an unnecessary extra step to take care of. And are we back? We're back. All right, so let's go into settings and change our. Let's go into make everything medium. That would probably be all right. Okay, we probably won't crash that way. I've got too many things open for the live stream. Got other things open that I could probably close. I think that's good for now. Okay, so here we are. We were going to change this guy. We're going to change his mesh, and we almost had it when we crashed. So let's find the one here. I think it's skeleton guard, so we'll change it to the skeleton guard. And there we go. So now it's the skeleton guard from the default character. And there you're going to see the glowing eyes, and I guess somewhere here we can change those glowing eyes, but we're not going to mess with that right now. And actually, they didn't do too bad with the cloth, like the cape and stuff. It kind of floats around as you're running through. So let's just go ahead and get this started and run around a little bit. So here we go. Then jump. It didn't do too bad with the cloth. I mean, it it's not completely free flowing, but it's not too bad. Works good enough for what it is. And then if we look around, you can see the whole skeleton. But we'll look at that asset, the asset there. But here's just an idea of how it is running around. All right, so let's get out of here and let's go escape out of here. And let's go to the content drawer and take a look at that skeleton. Let's go to the map. First thing we're doing, we're just going to, yeah, let's go ahead and save it as a skeleton. Why not? All right, so here's the showcase of the skeleton guard here. Here it is all dressed up. Now there is a spear that comes with it that you can add in there and have it used for if it was as a mod or an enemy or whatever you want to call it. And we come over here. We can see all the armor that it has that you can put on or take off, because you don't have to put all this stuff on there. Like you can take the cape off, or in this case, I'd probably take the cape off because it's not completely flowing. But if you're making a little game and you want a little skeleton guard to go in there, that'd be interesting, I suppose. Now, when you play this one here explodes, so I don't know if that's a triggerable feature with it. So you can, if when he dies, he just explodes. But we'll go ahead and play it, and you can see how it explodes here. This one right here, I think, is the one that explodes. Or I thought it did. Maybe. Okay, you got to click on it and there it explodes. Okay, there it went. And then here's some of the animations right here. We'll go through and see what animations are there. I don't know why these two are acting like this. That's kind of weird. I don't know what is going on there. Or there, I guess that's just kind of a leap kick or something. There's the static pose, walking, running. Let's go ahead and escape out of here, go into the content drawer and see what kind of animations, if that's all they have or if there's more. Not a big deal. You can always add whatever animations you want from wherever. There's a lot of animations out there, and 5.5 comes with a ton of them as default. And there's a project that has a lot of movement and animations to put for characters, so that's not really a big deal. You can add those to these. But let's see. Materials, map. There it is, animations. So we have the jump animation, idle, jump end, jump loop, jump start, run, and walk. So I think those two were the jump end animations. That's what those were. So that's why it looked kind of weird. It was looping the jump end over and over again. So it didn't, it looked kind of weird, but it was just a blend from the in the air to the landing. I think the demo would have been a little bit better if it just showed the jump animation instead of just each one individually like that. Kind of blended them together, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So there's the meshes and textures. Here we go. Here's the cloth. How they put that together. And you can probably change how that looks and all that, and the coloring and everything you want, however you want. Probably in this primary one right here. Let's go ahead and click on that. Yep, you can just change this color however you want and put any textures you want in there to make it look different however you want. So let's go ahead and close out of that. And then weapon. There's the textures for the weapon. Oops. I was wanting to. Where are the actual assets for that? Let's see. Mesh. Okay, there it is. There's the weapon. So in here you could probably change that weapon however you want to change it. You can change the colors or how it looks, or so they got each asset there. You can kind of play around with it. You can customize it however you want, but it's free. You can take a look at all that. Here's all the physics assets and all that. So there's materials. That's one interesting thing too. You can, if anything else, you can use the materials from some of these things, or use the base of these materials for other stuff if you find that interesting. Just whatever you want to pick apart about these free assets and use them, or learn from them. You can learn how they put them, tear them apart and see how they put them together. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cabin lake. Let's see. We'll go to the the level. Here we go. We'll go to the cabin lake level. This is where they put everything together, and then we'll go over and look at all the assets and all that afterwards. This just kind of shows how you can put it together. You can put this together however you want. But it's just a demo of how you could. And if you were just putting the game together real quick, you can just leave it as is and use it like that, depending on what your needs are. But it gives you all the modular tools to snap it together, and then you can add other assets from Fab or from Quixel. The only thing I don't like about this one is the movement of the trees, but I suppose you can go into those assets and change that movement. We'll let it finish loading in here, and I'll show you what I mean when you look at it. It looks more like you're seeing a heat, the heat coming up off the road, type of thing when you're looking at it. But I'll show you. And then there's one little bush thing that looks like it's alive and kind of moving through the floor of the map. But all in all, this looks okay. It's not bad. But anyway, these are the free assets. This is the third one. We'll probably wrap up the live stream pretty soon here after we check this out. Let's see, we're done loading in, so let's go ahead and do the fly through when you hit. There we go. All right, as you can see, the water in mine, I don't have the textures set up right. You go into the water and see how it actually is. It's blue, but if you come up here, it looks gray. It's because I don't have the texture streaming pool set up correctly. That's okay, not a big deal. We're just looking at the assets themselves. So let's go into one of the little houses here. It's got little shelves up here. This is kind of how you can use it, lay it out. It's got tables and all sorts of things. Got canoes set up, docks, bridges. This looks like a little oceanside little village. Like I said, you can augment it with other items, like I said, from Quixel or from Fab. And you can remove other things. I mean, you don't have to use all the assets. So like if you wanted to use this, you can just use, like if you didn't like the vegetation, you could use it, use everything else. If you just like the vegetation, just use the vegetation. You just use whatever assets out of this little pack that you want to use, and whichever way you want to use it. Now we'll go down here. I think it's this one here. Yes, it looks like it's alive and kind of bouncing through I know they're trying to simulate wind here. And I don't know if that's adjustable on each of the assets or not, where you can make it move more or less. But when you look at it, it looks like it's bouncing, kind of like it's vibrating instead of blowing in the wind. But if you look at it there, yeah, it looks kind of like a heat mirage going through the vegetation. It's interesting. We'll just kind of fly through a little more here. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Let's go into the asset level, where you can see the smaller assets. And it's not a huge asset set. I mean, they made it a lot out of what it was. So you can, this shows, basically how you can take a small set of assets and you can make a big scene and do a lot with just a small number of assets. So there's some little nets and stuff there. It doesn't look quite as right because I I had to turn my details down, but it's actually a little more detailed than that. Let's go ahead and turn my settings up a little higher. Let's change it to high. Now let's go and go to Epic. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't crash. So if we see the detail, you can see that there's an actual net there and all that. And the cloth is it's pretty detailed as well. Let's see how high we can go with our let's go to cinematic. I don't know if it's going to crash my computer or not. It looks even better on cinematic. That's giving me a warning to enable something. I'm not going to worry about that. And we come down through here and we can see that all the individual signs and the benches and the lamps and the chairs, tables, and little hut things. Little lantern stands for around the village. Interesting here. Let's see. Wow, that's lagging quite a bit. And if you come in here inside the little buildings here, these are actually pretty empty. Again, you can modify these however you want to modify them. But anyway, that's that. Those are the free assets. They do these free assets every 2 weeks. So imagine I'll do another one. I'll be a little more prepared on the next live stream with the free assets, and maybe we'll go through and we'll try to create something with the assets. Maybe do like a take whatever 3 or 4 assets they have and try to make a little prototype of levels or games or whatever, just to play around a little bit. We've got some little bit of fruit here. Got a mango and a pineapple and a little coconut. So there we go. On a side note, we're going to be releasing some videos, some beginner videos for Unreal Engine. Let me get the list here. Where is the list? I have the list. And that is not my list. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so we will have installing the engine, navigation, so basically how to get around and all that good stuff. We'll go over plugins, performance, just like I showed you right there where I was crashing. The performance settings right there. We can go over it a little bit right now. So we're going to put mine back to medium so I don't crash. So if you're having a little bit bad performance when you're doing or things are moving slow, when you're moving things around, especially on a level that has a lot of stuff on it, you can come in here and turn this on medium or low if it's giving you trouble. I know my computer's kind of on the ragged edge of being able to handle levels with a lot of assets on it. But you just come in here and change the low, medium, depending on your performance. You can kind of tell when your computer's kind of lagging. Mine screams at me. The fan starts cranking up and all that, and lets me know it doesn't like it. And of course, it crashes on occasion, like I did earlier. So anyway, right here is where you would do some of that screen percentage. You can change that, and there's a few other things. I think material quality level you can change. Let's see. You can also change the preview platform. You can change it to Android, all that good stuff. But I'll have a whole video on the performance stuff and what it does and all that. So anyway, back to the rest. So Of course, install navigation plugins, performance, game assets. Like we're going over tonight, these 3 assets. We'll go over blueprints. Blueprints is basically visual programming, so not with C++ and all that. And most of the tutorials will be with blueprints and not actual programming. At some point, we may go into programming depending on the demand, but right now we're going to stick with just the visual programming. We'll go over materials, Niagara system. The Niagara system is what does the virtual effects and all that. So, but anyway, so that'll be the getting started series. We're going to start. We'll probably publish a couple of videos a couple of those tomorrow, and then the next week we'll do 2 more and so forth, and then we'll get into other video series and some one-offs on notable topics and notable techniques and all that. So, but anyway, don't forget to give the video a like and maybe subscribe. Follow us on X or Twitter, whatever you're going to call it, at Mike's Tech Mind. We're also over on Rumble. We're on YouTube. So look us up there. We're going to try to do a couple of live streams a week. We're going to try to do it Fridays and Saturdays. We didn't get one last night, but we're going to do one tomorrow. We're going to be streaming a game, so look for that. We'll probably start getting a little more active on X and announcing what's coming up and scheduling these things a little more efficiently. Anyway, for anybody that watched, appreciate you watching to the end. We'll see you next time.